What if the haircut you thought made you look younger is actually adding 10 years? It's a question many women over 60 never expect to ask themselves, but the truth is that certain styles, ones we've trusted for decades, can silently age us. Think about it. How many times have you walked out of the salon, smiled politely at the mirror, but later at home wondered why the cut doesn't match the vibrant, youthful spirit you still feel inside? Hair has power. It frames our face, sets the tone for our presence, and either lifts us up or weighs us down. And here's the surprising part. You don't need drastic changes, expensive treatments, or chasing the look of your younger self. You simply need the right haircut that honors who you are today while giving you back that sparkle you deserve. In this video, we're going to reveal 3 haircuts you should absolutely avoid if you want to look radiant, and then show you 3 stunning alternatives that bring light, softness, and energy back into your look. These aren't generic salon tips. They're carefully chosen styles that work with the natural beauty of women over 60. If you've ever doubted your hairstyle, hit like and subscribe right now, because what you're about to discover could save you from your next salon mistake, and might just change the way you see yourself every time you look in the mirror. Seraphina is 67 years old, a retired teacher from a small town in Ohio, and she has a story that will feel deeply familiar to so many women watching this right now. For decades, Seraphina chose what stylists often call the safe haircuts, the neat bob, the cropped layers, the shoulder-length styles that were supposed to be timeless. They were easy to maintain, professional for the classroom, and respectable in front of parents and colleagues. But what Seraphina never expected was that those same safe choices would eventually start to work against her. One day, standing in front of her bathroom mirror, she caught herself thinking, "Why do I look older than I feel?" It wasn't the wrinkles she noticed, nor the silver strand she had grown to love. It was the way her haircut flattened her expression and dulled her energy. Seraphina had spent her whole career encouraging young minds, telling her students that change and growth were part of life. Yet here she was, clinging to hairstyles that no longer reflected her true spirit. After retirement, she began to attend more community events, dinners with friends, and even started volunteering at her local library. But every time she dressed up, she felt her hair was dragging her down. Her clothes might sparkle, her laugh might be warm, but the frame around her face told a different story. One of someone older, quieter, and far less lively than she truly was. It wasn't about vanity for Seraphina. It was about alignment. She still traveled, laughed with her grandkids, and had plans for a second act in life. Why shouldn't her hair reflect that vibrance? The turning point came when her granddaughter, barely 12 years old, tilted her head one day and said, "Grandma, why do you wear your hair like that? You look like one of my teachers from history books." It was an innocent comment, but it landed with a weight Seraphina couldn't ignore. She realized that the cuts she thought were keeping her looking neat and youthful were actually adding a decade or more, and making her appear older than her energy and personality. That moment sent Seraphina on a search, not for the fountain of youth, but for a style that let her inner light shine through. She began speaking with other women at her age group meetings and church gatherings. Time and again, she heard the same frustration. "I don't recognize myself in the mirror anymore." And she discovered she wasn't alone. Women over 60 often carry stories, wisdom, and vitality that deserve to be framed by styles that lift and celebrate their features, not ones that shrink them into the background. Her story is the thread of this video, not because she wanted to reinvent herself into someone else, but because she finally wanted her reflection to match who she was inside. Seraphina's journey shows us that choosing the right haircut is not about chasing youth. It's about choosing dignity, softness, and confidence. It's about claiming a style that says, "I'm still here, and I'm still radiant." And as we follow her path, you'll see exactly which haircuts to avoid and which ones can bring back that glow you thought was gone forever. Haircut to avoid 1. The helmet hair. The first haircut on our list may surprise you, because for years it was considered the classic choice for women who wanted to look polished and put together, the helmet hair. You've seen it before, perfectly sprayed, stiff as stone, not a strand out of place. At first glance, it might seem sophisticated, even glamorous in old photographs. But the truth is, in real life this style can drain every ounce of softness from your face. Instead of highlighting your natural beauty, it creates a rigid frame that exaggerates lines, hardens your features, and makes you look more severe than vibrant. Seraphina knew this haircut all too well. In her teaching years, she wore her hair like this for parent-teacher nights and school portraits because it looked professional. But in hindsight, she admitted the cut never gave her the warmth she felt inside. "It made me look stern," she confessed, "like I was scolding someone, even when I wasn't." And that's the problem with the helmet hair. It traps your expression in place. No matter how much you smile, the stiffness of the style overshadows the kindness and light in your eyes. The biggest issue isn't just about aesthetics. The helmet hair carries a hidden message. It tells the world you're more concerned with controlling every strand than embracing the natural movement that comes with aging gracefully. While we often associate control and neatness with dignity, in hair, it translates differently. A frozen style can make you appear less approachable, less lively, and far older than you actually are. And ironically, the very hairspray meant to hold it all together becomes the culprit that robs the hair of bounce, shine, and life. It's easy to see why so many women fell into this style. For decades, salons promoted it as safe. It was the cut of first ladies, news anchors, and polished professionals. But times have changed, and so has the meaning of elegance. Today, elegance is not about looking frozen in time, it's about embracing movement, softness, and authenticity. Think about the women you admire who radiate youthful energy at 60, 70, or even 80. Do they have hair that looks like a helmet? Of course not. Their styles flow, move, and reflect the joy in their personality. If you've been clinging to this style, it's not your fault, it was the standard for decades. But now you know what it really does. It locks you in, both visually and emotionally. Instead of letting your hair tell the story of a woman still full of laughter, wisdom, and plans, it tells the story of someone stuck in a moment that has long passed. The good news is that change doesn't mean losing yourself. It means updating how you frame your natural beauty. So, if you find yourself sitting in the stylist's chair and your instinct is to ask for something safe, pause and rethink. Safe doesn't always equal flattering. The helmet hair might have served a purpose once, but today it can silently add 10 years or more to your appearance. And as Seraphina discovered, letting go of it was the first step in rediscovering her own glow. And remember, this is just the beginning. Because if the helmet hair ages you more than you realize, wait until you hear about the next style that many women believe keeps them looking young, but actually does the exact opposite. Haircut to avoid 2. The too long straight sheet. The second haircut to avoid is one that many women hold onto with hope, often believing it is the last link to their younger selves, the long, heavy, straight sheet of hair. For decades, long hair has been tied to the idea of femininity, youth, and beauty. It's easy to see why so many cling to it. After all, we grew up seeing movie stars and icons with flowing locks, and we told ourselves, as long as I keep my hair long, I'll never lose that spark. But here's the truth that no one tells you. Past a certain point, extremely long, straight hair doesn't make you look younger. Instead, it does the opposite. It drags down your features, emphasizes fine lines, and often leaves the face looking tired and pulled. Seraphina remembered this phase in her own life. After retiring, she decided to let her hair grow longer, thinking it would give her a fresh, bohemian spirit. She wanted to feel carefree, like the younger woman who once traveled across the country during summer breaks with nothing but a backpack and a dream. But when she finally looked at herself in the mirror, she didn't see that lively traveler. Instead, she saw a version of herself that seemed weighed down. The longer her hair got, the more it seemed to pull her face downward, casting shadows where she wanted light. Her smile didn't shine the same way because the heavy curtain of hair made her look hidden, almost swallowed by her own style. The problem isn't just the length, it's the lifelessness. Straight sheets of hair without layers or texture often appear flat, with no movement or dimension. On younger faces, that flatness can pass as sleek or modern. But on mature faces, it highlights the natural changes of aging, like looser skin or fine lines, rather than drawing attention upward to the eyes or cheekbones. Instead of framing your beauty, it overshadows it. Many women over 60 who keep their hair in this style notice that people stop complimenting them, not because they've lost their glow, but because their hair is covering it. Another hidden issue is upkeep. Long, straight hair might sound effortless, but in reality, it requires significant maintenance to keep it shiny and healthy. Without that care, it can easily look dry, stringy, or uneven. Seraphina confessed that she sometimes wore her long hair pulled back into a tight ponytail, thinking it made things easier. But in truth, that only exaggerated the length problem, pulling her face taut and highlighting every line she wanted softened. She realized she wasn't holding on to the hair because it suited her. She was holding on to it because she thought it symbolized youth. And that's where the emotional trap lies. Too often, long straight hair becomes more than just a style, it becomes a security blanket. Letting go feels like letting go of a younger version of yourself. But in reality, it's the opposite. By holding on to it, you may be hiding the vibrant, elegant woman you are today. The style can unintentionally mute your energy, making you appear more fragile than free. So if you catch yourself glancing at your reflection and wondering why your hair feels like a heavy curtain instead of a crown, you may be facing the same realization Seraphina did. That youthful promise you thought the long sheet of hair was giving you. It may actually be the very thing stealing years from your appearance. And once you see it for what it is, you'll understand why it deserves a place on this list of haircuts to avoid. And remember, this is only the second. The next haircut might surprise you even more, because it's a style that many women think is daring and empowering, but instead it can be one of the harshest choices of all. Haircut to avoid 3. The harsh cropped chop. The third haircut to avoid is what many women are told will make them look bold, modern, and liberated: the ultra-short, harsh cropped chop. At first glance, this style feels daring. It whispers promises of freedom from endless styling, low maintenance, and a sharp, chic edge. And for some, that temptation is strong. After all, isn't there a certain thrill in sitting in the salon chair, watching years of length fall away in a single afternoon? But here's the hidden truth. What looks edgy in theory can often translate into severity in practice, especially for women over 60. The cropped chop tends to be cut so close that it strips the hair of softness and movement. Instead of framing the face, it exposes everything: scalp, hairline, even thinning patches most women prefer to minimize. The result? Rather than lifting your look, it magnifies the very features you hoped to soften. Fine lines around the eyes and mouth appear sharper. Crow's feet and forehead lines, which could have been blended by a gentler style, suddenly take center stage. And instead of making you look fresh and powerful, the harsh crop can leave you looking more severe, even fragile. Seraphina learned this lesson the hard way. On her 65th birthday, after a long summer of dealing with heavy hair, she decided to do something daring. She asked her stylist to give her the shortest cut she'd ever had. For the first few days, she felt liberated. No brushes, no fuss, just quick styling. But soon, she noticed something unsettling. Every time she caught her reflection, she felt exposed, almost as though her haircut was putting her age on display rather than allowing her confidence to shine. "I felt like my face was carrying the whole story," she said, and not in a flattering way. The haircut wasn't giving her the boldness she expected. It was giving her a spotlight on all the places she wished had gentler framing. The cropped chop also has another downside. It can limit expression. Hair is not just decoration. It's a tool of self-expression, a way to match how you feel inside to what the world sees. With a cut this short and severe, there's no room to play. No waves, no movement, no variety. It's one look, every day, with no flexibility to soften it or change the vibe. And while simplicity might sound appealing, it often turns into monotony, leaving many women wishing they had a little more room for elegance and grace. This is not to say that short hair cannot be beautiful. Far from it. The problem lies not in the length itself, but in the harshness of the execution. When all the softness is stripped away, the haircut begins to emphasize age instead of celebrating vitality. And that's the mistake too many women discover too late, when the scissors have already done their work. So, if you've been told that the crop chop is bold or empowering, pause and think carefully. For many women over 60, what it really delivers is a mirror that feels unkind and a style that's harder to grow out than you might expect. Now that you've seen the 3 cuts that secretly add years, the helmet hair, the too long straight sheet, and the harsh cropped chop, Let's turn the page. Because the next section reveals 3 stunning haircuts that bring back light, softness, and vibrance. Styles that can make you look and feel 10 years younger. Haircut to choose 1. The textured pixie glow. When women hear the word pixie, many imagine a severe, boyish cut that strips away femininity. But the textured pixie glow is something entirely different. It's not about chopping your hair into a harsh crop. It's about layering and softness in all the right places. This version of the pixie is airy, light, and designed to frame your face with warmth instead of rigidity. For women over 60, it works like a natural facelift, lifting your features upward while keeping everything playful and modern. What makes this style so powerful is the texture. Instead of stiff, uniform layers that sit flat against the scalp, the textured pixie introduces movement. Wisps of hair can be feathered at the temples, angled softly around the forehead, or tousled at the crown to add height and brightness. The effect is subtle, but the transformation is striking. It softens fine lines around the eyes, lifts sagging cheeks, and brightens your entire expression. It's as if the haircut lets more light reach your face. Seraphina discovered this when she decided to give up her safe styles and try something new. At first, she was nervous. Would shorter hair make her look older? Would she lose her femininity? But the moment her stylist revealed her textured pixie, she felt an instant spark. I looked in the mirror and thought, "There I am again," she said. Her granddaughter squealed, "Grandma, you look like you're ready for an adventure." That's the magic of this haircut. It doesn't erase your age, but it restores the sense of vibrance that aging hair can sometimes hide. Another reason this cut works so well is because it embraces natural silver or grey. Instead of fighting those strands with heavy dye jobs, the pixie glow uses them as highlights. The texture allows silver tones to shimmer like threads of light, giving dimension rather than dullness. For women who feel weighed down by constant color appointments, this style is also liberating. You can let your natural hair shine without feeling like you've given up on elegance. Practicality plays a big role too. The textured pixie is remarkably easy to manage. A dab of mousse, a quick tousle with your fingers, and you're done. No hours with a round brush, no stiff sprays locking your hair in place. And yet, because of its versatility, you can dress it up for a wedding or smooth it down for a casual day at the park. It's the kind of cut that adapts to your lifestyle, rather than demanding constant upkeep. Most importantly, this haircut tells a story. It says you are bold enough to embrace change, wise enough to choose softness over severity, and confident enough to let your natural beauty show. It's not about looking like someone else, it's about revealing the version of yourself that still laughs freely, still dances in the kitchen, still walks into a room with presence. The textured pixie glow proves that short hair can be every bit as feminine, elegant, and empowering as long hair, if not more. For women over 60, it's not just a haircut. It's a statement: I am still radiant, I am still playful, and I am still here. And when Seraphina walked into her next community gathering, heads turned, not because she looked like she was chasing youth, but because she looked like she had finally embraced her own timeless glow. Haircut to choose 2, the collarbone shimmer bob. The second haircut that deserves its spotlight is the collarbone shimmer bob, a style that balances elegance with approachability in a way few others can. For women over 60, it offers something rare, just enough length to feel feminine and versatile, but light and airy enough to lift the face rather than drag it down. This cut rests gracefully at the collarbone, framing the neckline and softening the jawline while allowing for natural movement. It's not too short, not too long, it's the perfect middle ground. What sets this bob apart from other cuts is its shimmering movement. Unlike the heavy, flat sheet of hair that we talked about avoiding, the shimmer bob has layers and dimension that keep it alive. With every turn of your head, the strands catch light, giving the illusion of vibrancy and health. And because it sits just above the shoulders, it doesn't overwhelm your face, it uplifts it. Cheekbones look more defined, eyes appear brighter, and the overall expression feels fresher. This is the kind of haircut that doesn't just look good in the salon chair. It continues to flatter in everyday life, whether you're at brunch with friends, volunteering at your local center, or celebrating a milestone birthday with family. For Seraphina, this haircut was a revelation. After letting go of the too long straight style that weighed her down, she hesitated. She didn't want to lose all her length. But when her stylist suggested the collarbone bob, she was intrigued. The first time she saw herself with this cut, she noticed something remarkable. Her neckline looked more graceful, her shoulders seemed straighter, and her entire posture shifted. She looked refreshed without feeling like she had sacrificed the feminine energy she associated with longer hair. "It gave me elegance without effort," she said. "I felt like myself again, but lighter." Another benefit of the shimmer bob is its versatility. You can wear it sleek and straight for a polished evening out, or add soft waves for a more relaxed, romantic look. For women who enjoy experimenting with their style, this haircut gives room to play without demanding complicated routines. A simple blow-dry or even an air-dry with a little product can create beautiful results. And unlike harsher cuts, this one adapts to your life instead of locking you into one image. This style also honors silver and grey hair beautifully. The collarbone length provides the perfect canvas for natural highlights to shine. The movement of the bob makes silver streaks look intentional and radiant, almost like strands of light dancing around the face. Instead of hiding age, it reframes it, turning what some see as loss of color into a crown of shimmering beauty. Most importantly, the collarbone bob restores confidence. It gives women over 60 the freedom to feel elegant without the burden of excess length or the severity of ultra-short cuts. It whispers sophistication while still inviting softness. And it communicates something powerful, that you've chosen a style that reflects not just your age, but your wisdom, grace, and vitality. When Seraphina walked into her church potluck with her new bob, her friends noticed immediately. They didn't say, "You look different." They said, "You look radiant." That's the gift of the collarbone shimmer bob. It doesn't erase years. It makes every year look like it belongs to a woman who is still glowing. It's proof that the right haircut can uplift not just your features, but your spirit. And for women stepping into their 60s and beyond, that uplift is priceless. Haircut to choose 3, the long layered soft wave. For women over 60 who feel deeply connected to their longer hair, there's good news. You don't have to give up your length to look vibrant and youthful, you just need to refine it. That's where the long layered soft wave comes in. This style allows you to keep the length you love, but transforms it with thoughtful layering and gentle waves that create movement, bounce, and life. Instead of weighing down your features, this cut lifts them up, making your hair feel like a crown of light rather than a curtain of heaviness. The beauty of this haircut lies in its balance. Too often, long hair at this stage of life becomes flat and lifeless, dragging the face downward. But when layers are added strategically, around the collarbone, near the cheekbones, and softly at the ends, they break up the heaviness and add dimension. The waves, whether natural or styled, reflect light and give the impression of fullness and vitality. Suddenly, the same length that once felt like a burden becomes your best feature. It's not about having the hair of your 20s, it's about letting your hair tell the story of who you are now, elegant, confident, and full of energy. For Seraphina, this cut was a turning point. After years of battling between 2 long sheets of hair and styles that felt too short, she realized she didn't have to choose between extremes. When she tried the long layered soft wave, she was stunned by the difference. "I felt like the woman I remembered, but better," she said. "It wasn't about chasing youth, it was about seeing my spirit shine again." The layers softened her jawline, the waves brought out a sparkle in her eyes, and the gentle movement made her look approachable and lively. Her family noticed too. At her granddaughter's birthday party, a friend whispered, "She looks like she's glowing." This haircut also works beautifully with silver and grey tones. Where straight, heavy hair can make grey appear dull, soft waves turn those same strands into highlights that shimmer. Each curve catches the light, creating the impression of depth and radiance. For women who want to embrace their natural color, this style is a powerful way to make it feel intentional and celebrated, rather than something to be hidden. Practicality is another gift of this style. While it looks polished, it doesn't demand daily salon-level effort. With the right cut, your hair will fall into place naturally, needing only a little help from a curling brush, rollers, or even air drying with a wave-enhancing product. On days when you want more sophistication, you can add defined waves. On casual days, loose natural texture will still look graceful. It adapts to your mood, your outfit, and your occasion, which makes it one of the most versatile options for women over 60. Most importantly, the long layered soft wave is not just a hairstyle, it's an attitude. It communicates that you're still in touch with your femininity, still unafraid of taking up space, and still ready to embrace life with openness. It's a look that says, I've lived, I've grown, and I still sparkle. For women who have feared that keeping their hair long might age them, this cut is living proof that length can be your ally, not your enemy, when it's shaped with care and infused with softness. When Seraphina first walked into her community book club with her new style, she didn't have to announce it. Her friends saw the change instantly, not just in her hair, but in her energy. She smiled more easily, carried herself with more confidence, and felt like the room saw her true self again. That's the power of the long layered soft wave. It doesn't just transform how others see you. It transforms how you see yourself. And that transformation is worth every wave. For many women, the conversation around hair often seems shallow. Just another fashion choice, just another trend. But for women stepping into their 60s and beyond, hair is never just about style. It becomes a mirror of identity, a reflection of spirit, and a quiet statement about how you choose to show up in the world. That's why Seraphina's journey wasn't simply about swapping one cut for another. It was about rediscovering the connection between how she felt on the inside and what she presented on the outside. As women age, society sometimes tells them to shrink, to play it safe, to blend into the background. Don't be too flashy, the message whispers. Don't draw attention. But the truth is, every woman over 60 has already earned her right to stand out. Your hair, when chosen with intention, can carry that message of strength, grace, and individuality louder than words ever could. A style filled with light, softness, and movement doesn't just flatter your face. It tells the world that you're still engaged, still radiant, and still writing chapters of your story. Seraphina used to think her haircuts were simply about looking neat or respectable. But when she chose styles that embraced softness and movement, she noticed something far deeper. She laughed more freely because she wasn't worried about stiff strands holding her back. She greeted people with confidence, knowing her reflection matched her energy. Her hair no longer aged her, it amplified her vibrance. That shift wasn't vanity, it was liberation. And that's the essence of this transformation mindset. Hair isn't about chasing youth or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about alignment. It's about ensuring that when you see yourself in the mirror, the woman looking back feels like you. Not a watered-down version, not a relic of a younger self, but the confident, wise, radiant woman you've become. Choosing the right haircut doesn't erase the years you've lived. It honors them, while allowing you to move through the world with lightness and grace. Think of it this way. Your hair frames every moment of connection. When you smile at your grandchildren, greet old friends, or step into a new community group, your hair is part of the story you tell without words. Does it say you're tired, worn down, clinging to the past? Or does it say you're alive, open, and still sparkling with possibility? That's the choice every woman has when she sits in the stylist's chair. Seraphina's realization was simple but profound. She didn't need to look like she was 30 again. She needed to look like the best version of 67. And that shift, from chasing youth to embracing vitality, changed everything. It gave her permission to release styles that dragged her down and choose cuts that set her free. This is the transformation mindset every woman over 60 deserves. Don't think of your hair as a battle against time. Think of it as an opportunity to express the wisdom, joy, and confidence you've gained. Because in the end, hair is more than strands. It's the crown you wear every day, a crown that should reflect not just your age, but your spirit. And when you choose light, softness, and movement, you're not turning back the clock, you're stepping forward into the most radiant version of yourself. At 67, Seraphina isn't chasing 30, she's embracing 60 with elegance, and that choice has changed everything about the way she moves through her world. When she looks in the mirror now, she doesn't see someone trying to hold on to the past. She sees a woman who has lived, who has grown, and who has earned every line of wisdom, but still shines with a glow that comes from confidence and care. And here's the part that matters most. You can do the same. Choosing the right haircut isn't about vanity, it's about permission. Permission to step into this season of life without apology, to let your style reflect your dignity instead of hiding behind safe choices that secretly age you. Seraphina's journey proves that it's not about erasing the years you've lived, it's about amplifying the radiance that's still within you. Hair has the power to either weigh you down or lift you up, and when you choose light, softness, and movement, you're choosing to tell the world that your story is still unfolding with grace. Imagine walking into your next gathering, church, book club, dinner with friends, and feeling that your hair frames you in a way that matches your spirit. That's the freedom Seraphina found, and it's the freedom you deserve too. If this inspired you, hit like right now. It tells YouTube this message matters. Share this video with a friend over 60 who deserves to feel radiant again. And don't forget to subscribe to Ageless Style for women over 60. Because beauty has no expiration date, and your best years of confidence and elegance can start today.